Good morning again, friends, family, ladies and gentlemen, whoever it is, wherever you are. Glad to have you with us. It is time again for, I believe this is episode 4 of COVID-19 Story Time with Rob. And I just want to welcome you and hope you're all doing well wherever you are in the world. And I have another good story for you. Since there's no sports going on, I thought I would share with you maybe a little bit of sports history. And hope you enjoy this as much as I do. This is kind of a fun one. The Perfect Helmet is what the title of this one is. One more hard hit might have been the end of Roger Staubach. If you know Roger Staubach, he was the incomparable Dallas Cowboys quarterback. So he quit. Plagued by concussions a couple of seasons ago, he decided enough was enough and he left the NFL. Suddenly, the fans who had once been so preoccupied with Namath's knees were now discussing head injuries as though they were something new to football. Most seasons, head injuries ranked 5th, comprising approximately 1 in 20 of all pro football injuries. The head is, of course, as you know, vulnerable in other sports as well. Ask the baseball player who has just been beaned by a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, or the retired boxer with the cauliflower brain. There may be no hope for the player whose sport is based directly on the receipt and avoidance of physical punishment above the belt. Nor perhaps for the race car driver who rams an embankment doing 150. But for the less drastic crashes, for the motorcyclist whose tags car 19 in the 20-car jump, for the batter who gets decked and the quarterback who gets sacked, the life or death difference may rest with the protective headgear the sportsman is actually wearing. That is why the next is very important. For American researchers, writing in the respected British medical journal, The Lancet, believe they have discovered the design for the perfect helmet. An equipment design that might have kept Roger Staubach with the Cowboys for at least another decade. The design objective of the modern football helmet is to disperse a specific impact over as large a surface area as possible. In a good football helmet, that area of disbursement should be approximately 20 square inches, with the minimum of the impact being transferred to the skull. To achieve this level of effectiveness, the helmet must be perfectly fitted to the wearer. The most common of the football helmets currently in use is the suspension type, which has an inner canvas web sponge rubber padding and an outer plastic shell with the recent serious head injuries can and do occur, even when this particular football helmet is worn, is best understood when one considers the physical shock a football player is often expected to endure. It takes an impact of about 425 pounds per square inch to fracture the human skull. Football players, high school, college, or pro, sometimes get hit in the head with a force of 300 Gs or 300 times their own body weight. The duration of the impact is also a factor, but the figures remain. Therefore, these 4 researchers set out to design the ultimately protective sports helmet. At the conclusion of their study, this was the essence of their recommendation to the equipment manufacturers. A helmet which would be lighter, thicker, form-fitting, firm but spongy, with a relatively thin and hard outer shell to protect against abrasion. Wherever practical, this should be combined with a protective neck collar to dampen sudden, unexpected rotary movements that could create shearing, strains, and brain tissue. Now it can be told, but here's the rest of the story. The 4 researchers who advanced that design in the Lancet borrowed it. The perfect crash helmet had already been in use for thousands of years. But it was only recently that scientists realized why it works so well. The ultimate impact absorbing helmet, an athletic equipment manufacturer's dream, was taken from the skull of a woodpecker. And now you know the rest of the story. Thanks for joining me. Share this with your friends and family. Until tomorrow, be safe.